the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer, who invites you to test drive the 1981 Ford cars and trucks, including the EXP, America's new personal sports coupe. By Natural Light Beer, brewed with only natural ingredients for a smooth, clean taste. Natural Light, taste is why you'll switch. And by the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start.
Yes, the marvelously exciting month of May continues with ABC Sports. We're at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the subject matter this time, the time trials for the 1981 running of the Indianapolis 500. On the race course right now, and there he is, his car number 1. That's the defending champion, Johnny Rutherford. And remember, the picture you're watching is live. John Rutherford trying for a repeat performance in this year's Indianapolis 500. That's only been done 4 times by Wilbur Shaw, Maury Rose, Bill Vukovich, and Al Unser. He's also trying to become only the second man ever to win this race 4 times. Of course, the only man who has achieved that so far is the 4-time winner, A.J. Foyt. I'm Jim McKay, and briefly, the way it works here, remember, is what we'll be seeing today is 1 car at a time, taking 4 laps under the green. The average speed to be their speed as far as qualification is concerned. Qualification means, very simply, trying to select the 33 cars who will make up the starting field. And more important, or just as important, to select the order in which they will start in the race. 3 cars in a row, 11 rows of 3. The battle for the pole position, then, today at Indianapolis. Each man gets 3 tries if he wants it. You can take 3 laps or more and still wave yourself off, decide that you don't like the speed, and come back again another day, if they come around to you in line again, for another try. So those are the basic general rules. That's the outline. We'll explain it more specifically as we go along. Let's bring in, however, expert on the sport, 3-time motor racing world champion, Jackie Stewart. Did I sum it up? Did I miss something there?
No, you didn't miss a thing, Jim. I think the man that's out there right now is an interesting man, because Johnny Rutherford certainly is a man that you could expect to win this Indy 500, which of course we'll be carrying same-day coverage with ABC. I think, Johnny, the great thing about Rutherford's car, Jim, is its reliability. Jim Hall, tremendous creator of machines, terrific preparation. I think that's one of the most amazing things. And this, after all, as we must remember, is a 500-mile race. This qualifying for him, of course it's important. It's important to all of the top drivers. But he hasn't been the fastest this month of May. And I think some of the other cars have been just that little bit quicker. But on the long haul, I would have to think that John Rutherford is pretty happy about the way his car's been performing.
So far, by the way, he is just warming up his car. He has not taken the green flag as yet. In fact, only 1 car has qualified so far because of heavy rains that we had earlier. Well, Tom Bigelow just qualified a minute ago at a fairly slow speed for this field of somewhere around 188 miles an hour. But the important one was just before that, a man who all one way or another ends up in the middle of the story here, the remarkable A.J. Foyt Jr., who went out in his brand new car and qualified at an average speed of more than 196 miles per hour. There are the qualifiers so far, A.J. Foyt and Tom Bigelow. But Foyt, as I said, was the story. His first lap turned at a remarkable 198.369 miles an hour, went slower after that, partially due to the fact that he ticked the wall. We'll be showing you his qualifying run in a little while. But this is the live picture now, so we're going to stay with Johnny Rutherford, still preparing to take that green flag, not ready to do so far. We had a squirrel out on the racetrack earlier that caused the yellow to come out and to bring A.J. Foyt into the pits when he was preparing to make his run. And I think maybe that squirrel's out there again.
Well, I mean, it's a very persistent squirrel. That's a freeze frame we've got there of the frisky squirrel.
Just to be accurate, that's the earlier visit of the squirrel.
That is the earlier visit, but at the same time, we've got another one out right now. It might be the same one. They're very persistent, so these squirrels are going to come back.
Okay, a slightly squirrely start as Rutherford comes into the pits again. He'll be going out again as soon as they capture the squirrel.
Now,
The world, and some of the fastest driver and a good many thousands of people right now are at a dead stop at Indianapolis as we come to you live. because of one small squirrel. He's out on the racetrack someplace. They must capture him before Johnny Rutherford can go out again to try to qualify. Now, this is A.J. Foyt. This was just, a matter of 15, 20 minutes ago. We're on videotape right now as he took the green flag for the first of 4 laps in his brand new race car. Last year, he finished 14th, and he doesn't like that, this man who has won the Indianapolis 4 times, only man ever to do it. Now, remember that he is out there fairly late in the day, although he was only, I think, the 3rd person to take the track, because of heavy rains that we had this morning. We got up this morning with pouring rain. Looked like no running would be done today until 10 o'clock when the rain stopped. Then it took many hours to dry the track. They had to get practice in and finally started at 3:29 Indianapolis time this afternoon. That was the 4:29 Eastern Daylight Time. So Foyt was getting out there late in the afternoon, one of the first to take to the track, and looked pretty good. In fact, looked marvelous on this first lap, Jackie. A.J. Foyt still on his qualification lap, a little bit earlier. The first lap speed, 198.369 miles per hour. There he is, the man from Houston, Texas, who's won the race 4 times. The second lap was 197.152. The third lap, 195.610, and the fourth lap down to 193.257. We'll see why that is when he gets to the point where he actually ticked the wall during the race.
Well, of course, when you hit the wall at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you're doing no less than about 190 miles an hour at the slowest speed, Jim. And when you hit that wall, it's no great thrill. Certainly, it's not the sort of thrill that you want to have. I've done it. I had a little kiss of the wall once or twice here in Indianapolis, and it gives you a remarkable shock. And we'll see that strike of the wall in A.J. Foyt's run just coming up now, and you'll see the flame coming off from the light alloy wheels there as they strike the wall, and it must have really shocked A.J. that this had happened. He managed to keep control of the car, and right there he was very, very close to the wall again, taking his white flag here, the very last lap, indicating the last lap. A.J. with his brand new car, very thrilled with it. Took me into the garage this morning to tell me all about it, and you could see that he was bubbling over with enthusiasm. Right there, there's your flash. That was the strike of the ball by A.J. Foyt, and no matter how much experience, 24 times he's come to try and win this Indianapolis 500. This will be his 24th attempt, and that must have given even a man of that experience an amazing shock. So A.J. Foyt getting round here in his final lap of his qualifying attempt.
At age 46, his final qualifying speed was 196.078 miles per hour, much faster, a couple miles faster than he had run in practice. A.J. Foyt taking the checkered flag to conclude his qualifying run. Let's go back now live to this race course. Here is Johnny Rutherford taking the white flag for the final lap of his 4 qualifying laps. We have the official speed on his first 2, 195.312 and 195.440. That's impressive. See if he can step it up a little bit on the next 2 to try to catch the speed of A.J. Foyt.
Well, I'm sure he'll be trying to beat A.J. Foyt. Of course, this new car, again, of Jim Hall creation, a new aerodynamic shape at the rear end to try and make the car as slippery as possible to get through the air. The average speeds here at Indianapolis so high that airflow has a tremendous amount to do with it. Cars are doing very well underneath the bodywork now with a thing called ground effect, and we've got his third lap, Jim, at 195.482 miles an hour. He's very consistent, to say the least. The last 2 laps have been almost to the hundredths of a mile an hour, identical.
So he took the checkered flag. It'll be a few seconds before we get the official speed for that 4th lap and the average speed for Rutherford, but it will be lower than that of A.J. Foyt, still very fast at a time anybody would be proud of to take into the race. We'll be back. Again, we're back live at Indianapolis. There is Johnny Rutherford after turning in a qualifying speed of 195.387 miles per hour with laps of 195.3 to just reduce it to 10s, 195.4, 195.4, and 195.3. Again, 195.387, a man who will be trying for his 4th victory in the Indianapolis 500. So of the 3 men who have qualified so far, one of them here will be trying for his 4th Indy, and A.J. Foyt, the fastest qualifier so far, will be trying for an unprecedented 5th victory in the Indianapolis 500. The story is really beginning to build. We'll be back here again live at Indy. As you can see, it's quite a good crowd. Finished his warm-ups and is on the green now. There you see his statistics, like most of the great drivers here, into his 40s.
It seems that age plays an important part here. The exuberance of youth and even the enthusiasm of youth never makes up for the experience and the cool head that brings with a few years. Al Unser this month perhaps not as happy as he's been in previous years. He had a difficult year last year, not the success he expected or not the speed he expected. This year so far, his fastest time has been 192.061, which he did in practice and preparation for this weekend, and of course the 500-mile race still to come. Al Unser, very experienced. He drove in the same team as me back in 1967, and that's how you see up in the top right-hand corner there.
All right, the first lap, Jackie, 193.673. That's good, but considerably slower than Foyt and Johnny Rutherford. Al Unser, a three-time winner, remember. He won it from the pole in 1970, one of 11 men to do that, by the way. He won it again in 1971. He's one of only 4 men to repeat in this classic, and he won it for the 3rd time in 1978. He's always had a good starting position in the years that he has won. Pole position once, the other 2 times 5th, middle of the 2nd row.
He's always very consistent. It's always a case of Al Unser. I feel he's the cool, calm and collected one. Bobby Unser, his brother, a little fiery, sometimes a little hot. And Al seems to just have that sort of monotone factor that perhaps Bobby doesn't have. Bobby, of course, has been very fast this month. He's up in the 199 speed bracket, driving the Penske car.
Here we go, 192.926, his official speed on the 2nd lap. Slower than the first one by about 0.7 of a mile.
Well, he's even just a little bit faster than he's been doing in practice so far. He's getting the white flag, which of course means 1 lap to go.
Okay, the speed you see is after 2 laps. The official speed for the 3rd lap not in yet, 192.926. Al Unser, by the way, this year, and it could be important, is reunited with a man named Huey Absalom, who was his crew chief when he drove Jim Hall's car, the Chaparral, in 1978, and won the race.
Well, that's a good omen. Mechanics are very important for everyone, and lap 3 comes in a little bit slower again, 192.637 miles per hour for his average. He's on his last lap right now.
Should certainly think he would take this speed, though, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes, I'm sure he'll take it. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They don't seem to have been too happy with the car so far. Al hasn't been jubilant about it. We're looking for the checkered flag, and there it goes. Al Unser has taken it. He's going to start the 500-mile race, the 65th running of this 500-mile race at the end of the month.
Okay, that is the run for Al Unser. The official speed for 4 laps will be in a matter of a few seconds now. Earlier, remember, we had A.J. Foyt Jr. out there with the fastest qualifying time so far. However, he was not without his dicey moments. One particular moment on the final lap, as a matter of fact, when A.J. actually touched the wall. We're going to have another look at that right now. Here he comes, Jackie.
He looks like he's on the groove at this time, and he gets high. Of course, he's trying to stay on it. The car's pushing a little bit. Perhaps he isn't able to just get it where he wants to on the racetrack. And just look at this now. Remember, he's doing more than 190 miles an hour, and he hits the wall right here. Look at the flash coming off there. Very cool. He stayed with it.
Well, right after he finished that run, Chris Economaki had his usual word with this remarkable race driver.
Well, A.J., congratulations. That was some sizzler, that first one.
Chris, and I tell you what, I couldn't make up my mind to try to finish or not after I bounced her all the walls because that was too close.
How'd you get up there, A.J.? Why did you get into the wall?
Well, I knew I had a push problem going into this morning, and I made some changes, and I just tried pushing, and I just tried to more or less manhandle it and just got the front end out from under me.
A.J., it's a beautiful car. I understand it's not even 2 weeks old. How much testing has it had?
Well, it got here Monday. I started running it Monday and today, so you're talking about 6 days of testing.
A.J., I know your mother's been very, very ill. I hope she's getting better. Has this been on your mind today?
No, not really.
I think implied in A.J.'s last comment there is the fact that when you're a race driver, you can't let personal matters, no matter how serious they may be, really intrude. You've got to block things out when you're out there. Here is Al Unser, his qualifying speed now. That is for the final, that is the final average you saw there, 192.719. On the last lap, he was down to 191.6. Al Unser then safely in the field, third fastest qualifier so far as we come to you live from Indy. All right, Chris.
Al, are you happy with your speeds?
Well, Chris, no, I'm not. We're in the show. You know, I think I'm happy as long as you're in the show, but I would have, just like anybody else, rather have gone quicker.
Everybody seems to lose speed from the first lap on down. Why is that, Al?
Well, I think you get to trying too hard sometimes, and I think that it starts getting loose at first, and then, you know, it just takes a little bit.
Well, you're in, and that's what counts, Al. Congratulations. Al Unser's made the field.
Okay, so he has, and here are the qualifiers so far, just 4 of them, and remember we had a lot of rain this morning. They didn't get started until very late at 3:29 Indianapolis time this afternoon. That's why so few. A.J. Foyt, the fastest qualifier in the field, 196.078. Then Johnny Rutherford and Al Unser, 3 of the more important names in this race. Row 2, we have Tom Bigelow. We'll be back a little bit later. Right now we're going on again to the Rugby League Cup final and reporting live again from Indianapolis, where qualifications have been stopped for the day. It has begun to rain once again, and it's all over for this Saturday. They have literally been running between the raindrops on this first day of qualifications for the 1981 Indianapolis 500. And although day 1 has been finished, the official first day of qualifying has not. We'll explain that in a minute. First, here are the cars who have qualified so far for this year's race. Sitting on the pole for the moment, but he has not locked it up yet, and again there will be an explanation of that, is A.J. Foyt trying for his unprecedented 5th win in the great race. Johnny Rutherford, the defending champion, had the 2nd fastest time of the day, and rookie Bill Alsop of Woodstock, Vermont, congratulations to him, 3rd fastest of the day. For the moment, he's sitting on the outside of the first row. Row 2, Gordon Smiley. There he is. Al Unser, a 3-time winner of the race. He'll be going for his 4th, as will Rutherford. And Pancho Carter from a great racing family on the outside of row 2. As for row 3, let's have a look at that. The veteran Tom Bigelow on the inside. From last year, one of the glamorous young drivers on the tour. So that's the situation at the moment. 9 qualifiers today. For a further explanation of what that means about tomorrow and what I was talking about before about qualification.
26 cars that were in line back to the garage area. With me is Tom Bidford, the chief steward. And Tom, the rules of USAC in Indianapolis very definitely cover the situation. Everybody in line will have a chance tomorrow.
Everybody that drew last night and stayed in the line all day today will have an opportunity. There are some cars in the line that are not eligible to run for the pole because they withdrew from the line and went to the back. Right. But there are a certain number, I don't know exactly, that would be guaranteed that shot, yes.
Well, I do know this. There are fellows like Bobby Unser, Rick Mears, Gordon Johncock, and a fellow by the name of Mario Andretti, who are very anxious to do it tomorrow. Tom, thanks very much. Let's hope for sunshine tomorrow.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, Jim, back to you.
The 4 men that Bill mentioned are, of course, very important and very interesting drivers as far as tomorrow is concerned, and they belong to 2 different teams. Now, one of them is the Penske team. We got a sample of that team today in Bill Alsop, who is on the outside of the first row. We got a sample of the Patrick team, for which 2 others of those drivers race, Johncock and Andretti, with Gordon Smiley, who qualified just behind Bill Alsop. Now, 16 presentations. That means people who left the pits and started out on the track. 12 official attempts, people who took